um, to our Module 2 live session. It's a little bit over at 5:30, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Just I realize that there might be some people that are still coming in, but I do want to respect everyone's time. As we get started, I want to do a quick sound check. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Good. And you guys could see the PowerPoint okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Yay, I guess we're in good shape then. All right. So tonight's agenda kind of looks like this. We'll have introductions. We will check in. We will have go over live classroom expectations. Go over scoring rubrics. Review the APA guide. Get into a little bit of the material of the planning cycle, and then the module 2 assignments, and then lastly, you guys will have time to ask any questions. Well, I just want to share a little bit about myself, and then I want to hear a little bit about you guys. So I'm originally from a small farm town in northeastern North Dakota. I am a graduate from the University of North Dakota with a bachelor's degree. I majored in history, but later decided that I had a passion for little kids and early childhood education. So after graduation, I moved from Grand Forks, North Dakota, where I was living, to Denver, Colorado, to pursue a career in early childhood education. There, I have worked in the public and private sectors as a teacher and then as a director. And for the last 12 years, I have worked in the early childhood. Um, I have worked in just many facets of the early childhood uh, profession, and I later received my master's degree in early childhood education in an online classroom similar to this one. Uh, and when I was in Colorado, I was a supervisor, education supervisor for a Head Start program for 5 years. And recently, in the last 6 months, during all this COVID stuff, I actually moved from Denver, Colorado to Grand Rapids, Minnesota, to take on a new role as the director of education for a Head Start program in 2 counties here in Minnesota. So yeah, the new position is pretty much what brought me here, along with the benefit of being closer to my family in North Dakota. I do have a passion for working with children and families who are underprivileged. One day, my hope is to go back to school and pursue my doctoral degree in early childhood development. Um, so to answer the questions, a lot about me. Um, well, my favorite toy as a child growing up was my buddy doll because I wanted blonde hair, and he had blonde hair and kind of a silly reason. But all the kids that lived around me usually had blonde hair and um, blue eyes, and I wanted to be like them. So yeah, kind of a silly reason, but I want to open it up for conversation and invite you guys to introduce yourselves. Please share your name, where you live, type of degree you're pursuing, and your favorite toy as a child.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. It's Lucretia.
Hi,
Okay, I
Larissa.
can wait.
Hello.
Lucretia, it's okay. You can start.
Okay. So I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I am doing my associates for right now. I do have my CDA, so I am doing my associates. And my favorite toy I would say was a yo-yo. I kind of enjoy having those, especially once I light up and stuff like that. I was doing all type of tricks with them. So yeah, that's pretty much everything.
Nice. I was never good at yo-yos.
So my name is Carrie Ann. I live in New Jersey. I'm pursuing my associate's degree in early childhood. My favorite toy as a kid would have to be the Easy Bake Oven because I love to bake and you used to be able to bake stuff and eat it right afterwards.
Thank you for sharing.
My name is Elizabeth. I'm actually from Minnesota, North Dakota. Moved down to Texas about 15 years ago now, and I'm trying. I figured it was time to get it. And my favorite toy as a child was books, just all the places and things you could do in a book.
Nice. Where in North Dakota were you from?
Well, most of my family is in Minot. Minot Bottineau area is where my dad grew up. And then I spent most of my childhood in a small town by the cities in Minnesota called Rockford.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you for sharing.
Hello, my name is Judy Bennett, and I'm originally from Jamaica, West Indies. I currently live in Lawrenceville, Georgia, and I'm pursuing a bachelor's degree, and I've been working in the field for over 20 years too, and I have my CDA, so I decided I want to pursue and get a bachelor degree. And my favorite toy was like playing with dolls when I was a little girl.
Welcome, Judy, and thank you.
Okay.
Hi, my name's Heather. I live in Kansas City. This is my second time back to college as an adult. I'm going to pursue my CDA once as the time I'm doing my classes. I finished my physical therapy degree about 8 years ago and worked in that field for a while and decided I wanted to get back into early childhood education. So here I am. My favorite toy, I was an outside kid, so probably big wheels and bikes.
Nice. Home of the Z Burger, isn't that what it's called out there? In Kansas City.
The
The what? Joe's
the
barbecue.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Kansas City Joe's.
Yep.
Yep.
Unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, the new one is also Q39. It's a popular one also.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Diana, and I'm from Joliet, Illinois, which is about 45 miles south of Chicago. I am pursuing my bachelor's degree, completely changing careers. My husband and I own a dog daycare and training facility that we opened 5 years ago, and I left that in June to go get a job thanks to COVID. So I had to pick what I wanted to be when I grew up. So I decided to go back to school and get my early childhood degree. I'm currently working as a primary assistant in a Montessori school. So I work with 3, 4s, and 5-year-olds. My favorite toy as a child, I loved my bike and baby dolls. So I was the kid who played with dolls and I would strap them to my bike and ride them all over. So
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else I missed? Seems like there's a lot of people.
Hi, I'm Dewana Deidrenet, and I'm from Alabama. And I'm pursuing a bachelor's in early childhood education. And I currently work at the public school system for pre-K. And can't really think of a favorite toy that I had.
That's okay. Welcome, Dewana.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm from Minnesota. I'm currently a Head Start or teacher's aide. So I typically work with 3 to 5 year olds. My favorite toy as a child would have to be my bike. I loved being outside riding uptown, down to the lake, anywhere I could go on my bike. That was my go-to thing as a kid.
Welcome, Jennifer. Which Head Start program do you work for, may I ask?
I currently work for West Central Minnesota Community Action as a Head Start in Wadena. So I'm going for my associates right now, but leaning more towards getting my bachelor's.
Okay, who's your guys' director?
Um, Val, I believe is her name.
Val. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
nice. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
I know some couple people put some stuff in the chat box. I have a hard time trying to multitask. Looks like I think I've got everybody in it. If I didn't get everyone, please jump in. If not, I'm gonna continue on. Um, welcome everyone. It looks like we have a lot of people here, which is great. And yeah, I just wanted to go over kind of some of the expectations and stuff with you guys in this first live session, so you guys kind of have an understanding of what these live sessions will be about and the expectations going on. But before we do that, I just wanted to check in with you guys. Um, how are things going so far for you guys? I know sometimes in an online class it can be a little stressful. And you know, sometimes I also say too, you're your best learner at times. A lot of times what you need to do is just explore the different things. And with having said that, have you guys been able to navigate through the course content, discussions, general course questions? I know for some of you guys this might not be your first course, so I'm sure it might be quite easy for you to navigate. And then I know some other people it might be difficult too. So yeah, I kind of just want to hear some of your feedback.
Okay, I will go first. It's Lucretia. I would say everything is going okay. I actually enrolled in the Florida location in October, so I'm still kind of getting familiar with like the portal and just different things that is so much that you can use in our library resource. I mean, just all type of things like that. This class is kind of familiar because I took the part one of this. I had Joyce. I want to say her name was Joyce Montford, if I'm saying that correct. So she kind of gave us a heads up, like it's gonna be more of the planning, the DAP in this. So I was kind of familiar with what I was getting myself into. So yeah, this is interesting. So yeah, it's as you do more on it every day, you'll get used to it.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll tell you what, these I'm don't want to scare anyone, but the assignments they come up on you quick, and there's a lot of them. But in order to knock out a 5.5 week course, there is a lot of stuff that you need to submit. But you know what? It's not hard. It's a lot of just busy stuff.
Yeah, because once you find out your routine and what you can do, because I work full time. So as soon as I get off work, I just kind of check it out on my break, what I get myself into, and then go with the flow with that. Because the 5.5 weeks itself goes so fast. I mean, my last my last course, I had guiding children behavior. It went so quick. So yeah, you have to like kind of find your own transition and what you can get done when you can.
For sure. Thank you for sharing, Lucretia.
So this is Carrie Ann. Classes are going good so far. I've been enrolled since last October. I actually just hit honor roll for the fall quarter. They just hit me in the mail for high achievements for good grades. Um, I feel like,
Congrats.
thank you. My nutrition class, I would say, is maybe just a little bit harder. The assignments are list a little bit more harder. So I'm trying to stay on top of it so I can grasp, because I just started working again because I just had a son in 2020, so I haven't worked all of 2020. So I'm just getting back into the field. I work at Everbrook Academy. It's a new STEM school that just opened up. So I'm trying to balance being a full-time mom and a full-time teacher all over again. And I work with toddlers.
Oh, bless your heart.
Thank you.
That's a tough job.
It is, but toddlers keep you on your toes and you're always learning something new from them. So I go from teaching toddlers to coming home to a toddler.
That's tough. It takes good people like you to have good teachers in our classroom so these kids could actually learn and develop. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to share?
I have to admit, it's definitely humbling to go back to school as an adult. I was not in school for almost exactly 30 years. So enrolling was a little overwhelming. And then to do 5.5 week courses, and this is my third session. So this will be my 5th class, I think. Was absolutely crazy. But I definitely have a little more appreciation for my kids who have been doing online since last March. It's not easy. I have missed, I think, one assignment in all of my classes due to the fact that I forgot what day it was. I'm more appreciative of their learning situation now. But I think once you figure out like what each class's expectations are, I think it goes pretty well. And then, next thing you know, it's over and you're starting a new class. So it's definitely been interesting.
Yes. New class, new instructor, maybe a little bit new rules. Not so much new rules, but different expectations probably. Um, yeah, definitely. Thanks for sharing, Diana. All right, hearing no one else, unless somebody else has anything else, I'm going to keep moving on because we do have a lot to cover for tonight. Live classroom expectations. So this course, like some of your other courses, I know some might have less, some might have more. This one has 3 live classroom sessions. That I will need to expand on the current module topics. These sessions are offered in Module 2, Module 4, and then Module 5. So the next live session will be Tuesday, March 2nd at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Basically, the purpose of live sessions is just to engage with your peers and myself in conversation about the course concepts. So you guys have a further your learning. And basically the interactive classroom sessions encourage you open dialogue, and like I said, the questions are encouraged. For some reason, I know like we have a lot of students in this class. If you cannot attend a live session, the video will be posted to the course announcements the next day. Sometimes it takes 2 days, but for WebEx, sometimes it runs behind, making recordings like unavailable. Just increase because of the increased usage during the COVID outbreak. But it will be online if you do miss one. And then if you do watch the recording, you will need to complete the live session quiz, which basically is just any questions that I ask the class during the live session. And basically you would have to answer that in a paragraph format to receive full credit. And if you actively participate in the live session, you will receive full credit. So if you're online and you're contributing to the discussions, you'll basically get full credit at the end. So um, usually I have a pretty good record of who is on and who is not and who is participating. So it's usually pretty easy. But basically, not scary if some of you guys don't like to talk via, I encourage you guys to talk, but I know sometimes it can be a little intimidating chat box for you to um, just so you could share whatever you want to share. Anybody have any questions regarding the live classroom session expectations? It looks like Lucretia said that I am going in and out. Can you hear me guys okay?
Yeah, your sound you can kind of keep coming in and out. It gets really quiet and then we can hear you again.
All right, let me adjust. Can you guys hear me better now?
So far.
Yes.
Good, okay. All right, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is the scoring rubrics. Oh, I have a question, I think. Looks like Elizabeth says, do we need to type anything into the live classroom assignment if we attend the live session? The answer is actually no. Once I see that you have participated in the class at the end of the live session, I will tell you to type your name in and I will manually put in your points. So you don't have to do anything for that unless you don't attend the live session. Perfect. Any other questions? All right. Hearing and seeing that there are no other questions, I'm going to continue on to this scoring rubric. So all assignments are graded based on a rubric. I would just want to make sure that you guys all know how to access the rubric so you can make sure that you meet all the criteria before you submit an assignment. This seems pretty basic to some of you guys. Some of you guys might not know. Just wanted to go over this really briefly. So basically, before you submit an assignment, you want to view the rubric for each assignment. You want to click on the assignment title under the assignment tab in each module. And then towards the upper left side, you will see the box with the total points possible listed. In that box under the total points, there will be a button that says View Rubric. By clicking on that button, a new window will open up with the scoring rubric. And then please use these rubrics, honestly, guys, to your advantage, just to ensure you receive the most points possible for an assignment. And I'm the one of the few probably teachers that will let you, if you submit an assignment earlier in the week and for some reason you do not like your grade, you could resubmit it by the end of Sunday, which we will go over with deadlines. When at the end of each week at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time to get a better grade if you submitted and you don't like your grade for some reason. So I will give you that option, but I know a lot of folks just take the grade that they get, but then there's some people that would like a better grade. And for me, I'm a firm believer in people trying to master a area of content. So I usually give you guys that option too as well. Any questions on that? Looks like I have a question about live class at the end. Um, no, if we are, yeah, if you guys are on here, you guys don't need to submit anything on the live classroom quiz. All you'll have to do is at the end is type your name in, and so I could record it to ensure that you guys receive credit. Carrie, can you hear me better now?
Yes, I can hear you better now. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. All right, I'm gonna move on to the next thing for tonight, which is the APA guide. So basically, just to ensure consistency, uh, and precision for students and instructors, Rasmussen has chosen the APA style as the standard documentation and citation style. Basically, that APA style provides for clear references in the text. And then at the end of the document, so basically by using the APA as the common style in our classes and assignments, Rasmussen seeks really to streamline all the documentation components of the important information in the literacy process. So if you are unfamiliar with APA, and this is like, say, your first course, you can check out the Rasmussen APA guide in Blackboard. Excuse me. From the course home page, you will want to scroll down to the bottom of the left side menu. The second to last item on the left side menu is resources. You want to click on the word click resources. On the right side, you will see library resources. And then the fourth link down says APA guide. Click on this link and it will open up Rasmussen's APA Reference Center that has all the information you will ever need on APA formatting. So basically, you can use the menu on the left side of the screen to jump to the specific APA formatting information that you need. If this is your first time, I would suggest you to try to find out where that is located, so you guys know how to cite your sources correctly. Um, any questions on that? Seems pretty straightforward. All right, I don't hear or see any questions, so I'm going to continue on. All right, now I just want to dig into some material with you guys, and then talk about the planning cycle. Uh, when we talk about the planning cycle, very first thing that you need to do is identify the subject. Before planning any curriculum, it's really important to identify for whom you are planning. Some of the things that you really want to consider, um, following reflection, some of the things you really want to consider is, what do I know about the children's development progress? And areas of growth, home life, and interests. And basically, what do I want the child to do or learn as a result of the lesson? Those are really two specific questions you really want to ask yourself before you start the planning cycle. What do I know about the child's development progress, areas of growth, home life, and interests? And what do I want the child to do or learn as a result of the lesson? So it's really important to understand this information so you can set attainable outcomes for the child as you develop your lesson plan. If you are currently not working with children, you can observe a child in your family or use the provided video link and select a child from the video to observe and assess your planning cycle project. Um, so once you identify whom you're planning for, the next thing is to do is to plan. Uh, Now that you have some background information about the child's development, their progress, home life, interests, you could actually begin planning. And planning should include aspects such as the materials that you need, step-by-step instructions, transition and support strategies, and environmental considerations. Writing out a plan is really a good way to see it come to all together. The next thing you need to do with the planning cycle is to implement it. So basically, as it says, implementing your plan is only effective if the child is actively engaged with your plan. So when you are doing your plan and doing your lesson, free choice time during play-based learning is a good way for early childhood professionals to give opportunities for the child to investigate and discover new skills and understandings. Children are usually more joyful during this time, um, which is easier for them to, it's just easier to observe and for them to cooperate. Um, Then the next thing that you want to do is when you after you implement your plan is you want to observe. So you really want to be cognizant, just be really aware while each activity unfolds. It's really important of the rest of the cycle. You know, we ask ourselves as teachers, what is working, what is not working, and what learning is actually taking place, and how do I know that it's actually taking place? During your observation time, you should be taking a lot of notes of your observations. There are different ways for taking observations depending on what you're looking for in the behavior. Um, and then the next thing that you would want to do after you observe is adjust, differentiate. You know, each lesson can always expand growth. No lesson is ever perfect. As educators, a really big thing that we need to do is just reflect on how we individual learning and development needs of the child. How can we adapt the lesson to ensure you accommodate diverse learners? And then finally, what are the next steps we can bridge the lesson authentically into the child's home and community? As we know, the learning process doesn't end at school, and it's our job to inform the parents, guardians of these children what we are doing so we can share that information with the parents at home. This really does help the child master the outcome when there is that dual support. And it really does help build the child's strengths so you can scaffold their learning. The next thing is assessing. So basically, to complete the planning, we must reflect on the lesson's effectiveness. First, were the learning outcomes met, and how do we know? What does the child know now? And what are the next steps in the child's development and learning goals? And then basically the last thing is you repeat. You repeat the cycle and reflect on what you could have changed so the lesson could have been more effective. Maybe you didn't gather enough information. Maybe like child's interests or family lifestyles. It's really important to get as much information as you can to meet the outcomes that are attainable for the child. Now, having said all of that, guys, do you currently use the planning cycle as an ongoing process? And how do you think that will affect your teaching practices? I'm just reading some of the comments in the chat box. Says teaching strategies gold is a great observing children. Um, can we use our observations from the teaching strategies that we currently use in my classroom? Absolutely, as long as you don't share the child's name. I think that's completely fine. You observe and make changes per child, but not per curriculum. I see some answers come in. I think informally use the planning cycle, but I need to document on paper, not just mentally. And sometimes you don't even realize that you're probably doing parts of it, and maybe sometimes you just don't do it at all. It depends on the program and what kind of things are in place too, but also just your own skill set too as well.
Yeah, I think for me, because I work with so I'm in a mixed age group. I have infants and toddlers. So I would say my challenge with that, sometimes I don't always have like I have like plenty of sticky notes in the room and pens, but sometimes I just forget to get that sometimes and just take a picture and kind of go back to it, and it kind of takes me back to, okay, I remember what such and such did in this photo, but it always helps, to have that documentation piece in written manner. So that's definitely been a challenge for me since I've been back to work, because of our numbers has been like, our ratios has been real low. So I really haven't had like a full classroom just yet because of the COVID. So I have to remind myself just to be more, productive in that area when it comes to documenting, on sticky notes, whatever I need to do to make sure I'm getting everything that happened, in that observation.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I used to use sticky notes too all the time, and then I would forget where they went. And then I thought that they were trash. Um,
Oh yeah, I have a whole wall. I just put stickies on. I already like name my wall. It's like my go-to wall. I just put whatever I need to, you know, whatever I need to get to remind myself to go to the wall, and I'll find it and figure it out from there.
mm-hmm. And I know some people, looks like they have some questions about the stuff in the chat box, which we will discuss a little later in the live session. But, but just knowing what you know now about these two questions, do you guys currently plan the plan? How do you think that will affect your teaching practices? Some people use, it looks like, notebooks to write down. Diana said hers. Lee teacher does.
In my class, we use a notepad, and then at the end of the day or end of the week, we go in and input all our observations into our teaching strategies that we then share with parents or guardians or whoever at the parent-teacher conferences.
Yes. Thank you for sharing, Jennifer. We do the exact same thing. Lots of observations, and then yes, that parent-teacher conference time. It's nice when you have two parent-teacher conferences, one in the fall and then one in the spring, to really show that growth of where they were and then where they are now. Anything else? Yes, it is winter checkpoint season.
We actually have parent-teacher conferences coming up in March. So this is we had our first one back in, I want to say September. So now we're getting prep ready for, all of that, printing off checkpoints, finalizing, doing IPP. So it's definitely a prep,
It's
just a lot of prep and just getting it done. And then, with the COVID, it's kind of like, okay, we can't really sit down and have that one-on-one. So a lot of our conferences is on Zoom, but it's just about the paperwork, getting the signatures and putting them back in the portfolios. That's the part I kind of dread. Like, oh gosh, I got to make sure, I get this and that by the end of the day. So yeah, I'm kind of ready to get them over with, honestly.
I bet. The organization piece of being a teacher is tough, especially with all that paperwork stuff. You guys aren't meant to do a bunch of paperwork. You're meant to be good with children. But unfortunately, that is part of part of the teacher role. Right, hearing and seeing, I don't see anything else or hear anybody else commenting. So if you are viewing this recording, please make sure to answer these questions in paragraph format in the live session quiz that you will submit by Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right. So the Module 2 assignment. This week, you guys have a lot of assignments. I'm not gonna lie. You have 5. Um, so the first one is easy. The first one is the thing that you're doing right now tonight is the live session assignment. As I previously stated, if you can't attend the live session, I understand life does happen. The video will be posted to the announcements the next day or the day after. Basically, you just want to complete the live session quiz and answer the questions that I asked the class during the presentation in order to receive full credit. The second assignment is the discussion post that is actually due tonight at 11:59 Central Standard Time. It talks about the planning cycle and provides a scenario with questions to answer. Just really remember, guys, to do an initial discussion post by tonight, and then reply to at least one of your peers and follow up with any follow-up questions asked by your peers or myself by Saturday at 11:59 Central Time, PM Central Time. The third assignment is the written assignment. Basically for this assignment, you'll begin the planning cycle by researching and using an observation or assessment resource to complete an hour-long observation of a child. The purpose of this observation is to gain background information, which you will use in your later modules to create a meaningful learning experience of the child. And then just please know that this assignment is asking you to observe a child for an hour. If you are unable to do that, please use the link to view the video and then just respond accordingly.
I don't work in a child care or education setting right now. I have a neighbor that has a preschool age child that I could observe. Do you recommend doing a real life kid or using one of the videos? Is there one that's better than the other in this situation?
I don't know what your feelings are around COVID. That's a good question. I don't know what your feelings are around COVID. I'm not gonna make you guys, if you don't work currently in a child care center, or to view in a preschooler, if you are not comfortable. I think that's why the link is there, just so you have that option. If you want to gain more experience with it, of course, I would say, it might be better, but also kids act differently in front of their parents, in front of others,
I could babysit
in
though.
front of their peers. So that's completely up to you.
Okay.
Does that answer your question, Heather?
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
For the observations, do you want just one single like hour or over multiple days? Being that our usual playtime is only roughly like 30 minutes to an hour, um, what would you prefer?
I just do an hour. So basically, however you want to split it up. I think with the biggest thing with the observation is your observation, you're doing it on the same child. I think that's the big key.
Okay, sounds good. Because I mean, we look at different areas each day. So we document on multiple areas in one day. So I just was trying to get clarification on that.
Yep. I think that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? The fourth assignment is the Module 2 course project and part 1. You will want to, upon the observation you completed earlier in this module, and recall the purpose was to gather the learning plan to support the development of your subject. Um, Basically, the first step in completing it, and I will go over this right now with you guys, so you guys have a little idea of what this looks like. When my daughter had special needs, and basically you're going to get a template kind of that looks like this, and it's called the comprehensive lesson plan template. Basically, whatever you're doing, you want to make sure that um each week's assignment should build on your assignment from the previous week. So each week you'll be provided a template to complete. One important thing I really want you guys to note is that the written assignment this week is an observation, like I was telling you, of a child. You'll base your lesson plan on the child you observe and then create a lesson plan to help the child improve in one area they need growth. So this is just a little example I created for my daughter when she was getting some services done because she is special needs. Um, you want to talk a little bit one of the goals and why they're smart. The biggest thing on this comprehensive lesson plan is to build on SMART goals. So whenever you're doing this, don't ever put the child's name here. You just want to do initials. And then obviously when you want to start it, what's your name of your activity? And then the group size, this one was, she was just an individual. Down here is the learning objectives and goals. Basically, these are the things that you want the child to be able to do at the end of the lesson. And then on the other side of that, these are the activities of how they are going to get to be doing these things by the end of the lesson on the right hand side. So take a look at the very first one, just for example, so you guys understand. It says we'll go to the lesson objectives and goals. Uses hand-eye coordination when participating in routines such as carrying food, eating with silverware, drinking out of a cup, pouring liquid into a cup, and then eating with fingers. I'm really specific about what she's doing and that it could be measured by doing specific stuff like eating with silverware, drinking out of a cup, pouring liquid into a cup. These are they're specific and they're measurable things. At this age, I think they're attainable. They're developmentally appropriate. I think they're realistic. And then timely, we want to know, like, when do we want this to be done by? A month, a year, 6 months, whatever it is. You need to have that too. But how are we going to get there? If you take a look at the physical perpetual central enrichment area, basically what I'm saying is I'm providing opportunities, and I did use her name. Her name is Annika. To use forks, spoons, eating with fingers, smelling and touching different foods, pour water into a cup, drink water from a cup, carry food, and passing food will help strengthen her motor skills and hand-eye coordination. So basically, that's the activities I want her to do to get to doing this, doing the actual SMART goal. Does that make sense? Yes, no, maybe so.
Yes, that makes sense.
Any questions about that? I don't want to go through every single one of them, but basically you could see that even the second one, what do I want her to do? I want her to identify different food in correlation to shapes, colors, and quantity during mealtime. Well, that's more of a cognitive thing, identifying different foods by their shape. This is still during mealtime. And colors, example, an apple is a red circle. Um, very simple, a very simple example of this. But I just wanted to make sure that you guys kind of had a grasp of that as well. Okay, perfect. It looks like just seeing to everybody says that everybody makes sense. So okay, good. And then there is an exploration assignment too. It's a video, which is more that's the fifth one. There's a fifth assignment too, and I don't think I shared that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Anyways, there's a fifth assignment, and basically it's just really going to be asking you to watch a video, and then on the questions in your written responses, you just want to be sure to complete the sentences as it's just reflecting on the module's key area practice, and then sharing specific examples of what it looked like in the video. Share an example of how you plan to use this key area practice. And then one of the things that I really see a lot of people getting a lot of points docked off on this is when it says briefly share an aha moment um, about a key takeaway of the video. A lot of people don't really answer that. Sometimes they say, "Oh, it was good," but they don't really go into any detail. So yeah, I just want you to make sure that when you do answer those questions, that you do make sure it's 3 questions. It's pretty much every single module that you're asking. They're asking the same 3 questions. And that you guys do provide that aha moment. All right. Having said all that, I know it was a ton of information. You guys have any questions, concerns? I know some of you guys have reached me via cell phone text. That's completely fine. If you do have questions that do come up during the week, feel free to give me a text. Sometimes I'm in meetings all day, and if I could respond to you. I'm usually better at responding via text than a phone call half the time. Never get a chance to actually get away to actually talk to anyone during my day because I'm in meetings a lot. So a quick text if you ever need anything to let me know about something is great. Also, an email. I try to monitor my emails at times, but it's depending on the day. Um, some of you guys know in the world of Head Start, there's each day is a little bit different. So yeah. Um, in order to receive credit, all I need to do, if there's no questions, is just to type your name in the chat box and have a good night. And that's how you will receive credit for our modules, for our live session modules.
I just typed it in the chat box, but to verify, there's no live session next week, correct?
That is correct. It's only offered for Module 2, Module 4, and then Module 5. So you'll have it on March 2nd. And then
Okay,
I think it's March 9th.
thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
You too.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a good night. Say have a good night.
Have a good night.
He's looking at the camera, but he's
Yeah, I don't have my camera on.
yeah.
I don't want to scare anyone.
Bye.
Bye.